In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to control your mind in less than 5 minutes. And the first thing I want to say is congratulations, because you realize that you are not your mind. Your mind is something that you have. Your mind is something that you're experiencing. It's something that you have control over. And like they tell us in Buddhist philosophy, they say that the mind is like a crazy drunk monkey that's swinging from one thought to the next. And our job is to tame that monkey down, to sober it up, and get it to do what we want it to do. Now, this is the first time you're watching one of my videos. My name is Mo Salim, and my mission is to elevate human consciousness. Consciousness is awareness, and the first thing I want to bring awareness to is that of the three aspects of being human. So think of it as the mind, the body, and the spirit, right? Now, these three aspects have been called by many different names. Like in religious circles, they call it the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Psychologists call it the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. Scientists call it energy, matter, and antimatter, or the physical, non-physical, and metaphysical aspects of yourself. Whatever label you want to describe to these three things. For me, they are the mind being the software, the body being the hardware, and the spirit being the operator. All right, so what we want to do is tap into the operator's frame so that we can go ahead and examine the beliefs that are driving our unwanted behavior and reprogramming them so that we can act in accordance with our highest values. Okay, so the fact is that our beliefs drive our behavior, and the fundamental program that's running your mind right now is that of moving towards pleasure and moving away from pain. Now, this can be kind of difficult to accept, because I remember when I wanted to develop a consistent habit of going to the gym, of waking up earlier, of staying disciplined with my business, of going ahead and meeting new people and meeting new strangers when moving to a new city. All of these things were outside of my comfort zone. They were uncomfortable by definition, and they were unfamiliar to me. And for this reason, I actually associated more pain with them in my mind, because the mind is used to what is familiar. It wants to keep you safe. And because of that, it was a lot of resistance for me to go ahead and take right action. And many times I would sabotage myself. And even though I knew the right thing to do, I still wouldn't do it. All right. So understand that beliefs drive behavior. And a large portion of our beliefs are actually formed in our early years of childhood, before the age of 7, when we are very impressionable, when we are not aware of what's serving us, what isn't serving us, when we're picking up on all this different stimulus, when we're looking at examples around us. We are forming these fundamental beliefs. And if we think that we are our minds, we actually have no space to examine them, to question them, to ask whether they're actually serving us. Because once we don't question them, they just run our behavior again and again, and we wonder that why are we sabotaging ourselves? And the reason is because there's a subconscious belief that is driving your unwanted behavior. So the first step is really questioning your beliefs. If there's something that you're doing that you don't want to be doing, or if there's something that you want to be doing and you're not doing it, the reason is because there is a mixed set of associations of pain and pleasure. And the key really is in questioning the beliefs, going back to your childhood, looking back about why you are doing what you're doing. And then that questioning is actually what will shape the foundation on which those beliefs are standing. And then you can go ahead and reprogramming the ones that are better in alignment with what you want to do. All right. So the first one is to question your beliefs. The second strategy is to be aware of cognitive bias. All right. So cognitive bias is basically a mental model that served our ancestors, but it no longer served us. And the reason for this is because our ancestors back like 200,000 years ago were living during very different times than the ones we're living in right now, where they could get killed by a predator like the next hour. They didn't have an abundance of food, and they were just always on the lookout for fear in the environment, because that is what kept them alive. But of course, we still have this programming in us right now, but the environment that we live in is completely different than the one that we used to live in. And the brain is a hardware that was mostly created, developed, and optimized for an environment that is very different than right now. But luckily, we have aspect to that operator mindset where we can examine our thought chatters, our behaviors, our way of going about things, so that we can reprogram it according to how we want to be going about things. All right. So the first cognitive bias is that of instant gratification, because when our ancestors came across a fruit tree, for example, they would just binge on all of that fruit because they didn't know where their next meal was coming from. But of course, today we have an abundance of food, and we are still going through that instant gratification where we binge on a lot of food, and it actually hinders us rather than helps us, because there's always food around the corner, but that's something that the brain is unaware of, right? So be aware of instant gratification. And the second thing you want to be aware of is the fear of rejection. If you are failing to follow through on getting your ideas out there because you are scared of rejection, then realize that the only person that can reject you is you. All right, you don't have to take someone's value judgment on you, because if you don't accept it, it doesn't apply to you. All right, there's a lot of examples. For example, J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by like 20 book publishers, but she actually wrote Harry Potter, and that is like $1 billion brand at this point. So she didn't reject herself, even though she was rejected by 20 different publishers. All right, if you're trying to go meet someone new and you want to meet a girl and you're going to talk to girls around the bar and you're scared of being rejected and then you're not even approaching them, then realize that rejection will not get you killed, although it's what kept our ancestors alive. Because in the previous times, if they got rejected, they would just be banished, they would be killed, they would be unable to survive past a certain point. But you are living in this beautiful day and age where rejection is something that only you can give yourself. So as long as you accept yourself and realize that you are enough, that you are worthy, and get rid of the emotional baggage that is holding you back from expressing the fullest version of yourself, you can show up as the person that you want to be. All right, so just to recap, question your beliefs if they're not serving you. If your behavior is not serving you, there is a belief that is driving that unwanted behavior. So go back and look at that. All right. Secondly, be aware of cognitive bias. If there is instant gratification going on, realize that you have to get awareness on how your present behavior is affecting your future self. And the more you can develop that awareness, the better you'll be able to make your decisions in the present right now. Now, I couldn't finish this up in 5 minutes. It's about 6 minutes and 40 seconds. I hope that you forgive me. But if you found value in this video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, because I'm releasing new videos like this every single day. And I went very fast in this one because it's hard for me to keep my content short. But I hope that you apply this stuff and get value on it and increase your awareness. And with all that being said, this has been Mo Salim, and I'll see you soon.